Slavery is a choice. Now, some people tell you that freedom is a choice. Well, if freedom is a choice, how can slavery not be one? There are people in America right now who want you to believe that you have no choice when it comes to slavery. They want you to look at your past, and they want you to believe that your ancestors had no choice, therefore you have no choice. And if slavery was not a choice, how did 200,000 black people decide to take their freedom from their slave masters by running away or by killing them? Patrick Henry said, "Give me liberty or give me death." They understood the concepts of liberty. They understood the concepts of freedom. And they understood that sometimes, as Thomas Jefferson said, the tree of liberty must be irrigated with the blood of tyrants and patriots. It is his natural manure. In order to be free, you must be willing to shed blood. If a robber is going to come into a home, he first must bind the strong man. But if he doesn't bind the strong man will wait and will not allow his house to be shaken up. We must understand this, that freedom is not something that someone gives you. It's something that you accept. And you tell the man who decides to try to take your freedom that this is a death fight. They want you to believe that someone has the power to make you submit to slavery. And submitting to slavery is a sin. One or two things are going to happen here. One thing is you're not going to leave with a slave. One of us is going to die. Slavery is a choice. Today, on the Vince Everett Ellison Show, I'm going to prove to you that the Democratic Party is a cult. It is not a political organization. It is a cult. And more than anything, it is a death cult. And I'm going to prove that today on the Vince Everett Ellison Show.
I'm April Chapman.
And I'm Vince Everett Ellison. There's a victim narrative here in the United States of America that says you have no control over your lives, no control over your agency. And they're basically saying that you're an animal, that you're a slave. I don't believe that. I don't think it's ever been the case. As an heir of Jesus Christ, and as a child of God, I cannot be oppressed. I cannot be a victim. I do not think I am, nor do I think that any American ever has been, or any person. Even when it comes to slavery, I believe, and I think they will hold true, that slavery was a choice. You know how I know? Because people are choosing to be slaves now. So I'm making a documentary to debunk the myth that any human being or any American is held under bondage without their permission, even if they have to kill or give their lives to be free. Freedom is a choice, and slavery is a choice also.
We're asking you to partner with us. We are here. We have begun filming Slavery is a Choice, and it's an incredible documentary that outlines Vince's argument to prove to the world that slavery is absolutely a choice. I've partnered with him in the executive producer position, and we are appealing to our audience, you guys, those who watch us faithfully every single week, to help us bring this film to market. We've begun a crowdfunding campaign, and we're going to link the opportunity in the description below for you to partner with us and give any amount to help us bring this project to market. Slavery is absolutely a choice, and we know that slavery is a choice because we're choosing it today with many of the decisions that we continue to make to our own detriment. So we're hoping that you guys will partner with us, and we want to bring this film to market in summer of 2026. So click the link down below. And I'm April Chapman.
And I'm Vince Everett Ellison. Freedom is a choice, but in order to be free, you must be brave. In order to not be a slave, you must believe in Jesus Christ. So believe in freedom, believe in courage, be courageous, assist us in this project, and let's set and make other people free by being true blue Americans, true blue patriots, true blue Christians, believing in ourselves and believing in the future ahead. Thank you. All right, let's get this thing started. The Democratic Party is not just an evil institution. The Democratic Party is a cult. Now, I know what y'all saying. Vince on the line. Vince on the tripping. Anyway, the Democratic Party, fuck. They just make you sick. He always talking about this. He always talking about that. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, I'm going to show you. Show you. First question. What is a cult? First, it's an organization. It has beliefs. But there's a lot of those. What makes it a cult? I will tell you what makes it a cult. Number one, they have an authoritarian leader. A leader that don't take no mess. And they use shame, and he's charismatic to keep you under control. Who would you say is the authoritarian leader of the Democratic Party? I'll tell you who it is. It's Barack Obama. Whenever somebody get in trouble or they need a boost or they need something to happen, they find Obama. Obama came to Virginia and helped Abigail Spanberger get over the top. He even went to Texas and helped Rico undermine Jasmine Crockett. They had him on TV talking about that. He always somewhere, pressing the agenda of the Democratic Party. Barack Obama has been the leader of the Democratic Party since 2007. He hasn't given it up. He and George Clooney were the ones that told Joe Biden to sign him step down from the presidential race and put Kamala Harris in. That was Barack Obama. Oh, yeah. He's decided that LGBTQ is important. He's decided to keep abortion where it is. He's decided to bring all of this queer stuff and climate change stuff and all this civil rights and race hatred into the public sphere. That's Barack Obama. So that's one. They got a charismatic leader that's authoritarian. They believe in isolation and control. Anybody ever heard of black majority districts? And sanctuary cities? Yeah, isolation and control. So they have HBCUs, black high schools in majority black cities, and then they have ghettos where the people live. And then they have information sent in that they control. CNN, MSNBC, black radio, urban radio. All this stuff is designed to keep them under control. And then you have censorship, no questions. You ask any questions, you're going to be punished. Oh, Mama, what about the Republican Party? Shut up, boy. You wear a MAGA hat down there if you want to. So, and they don't let them on college campuses either. You remember when those children from TPUSA went on the HBCU and got ran off? The white boys went up there, they got ran off. The black kids almost beat the hell out of them.
Students upset after two conservative activists made an unannounced visit to Tennessee State University. The pair was eventually escorted off of campus by police as angry students gathered around. News 2's Kenley Hargett reports on the aftermath of that event.
If you want to talk to people who disagree with you, you go to the place where people are likely to disagree with you.
Students visibly upset at a conservative group showing up to their university unannounced. The group is on a nationwide college tour to honor Charlie Kirk and to open dialogue on various political topics. Tuesday, they chose Tennessee State University, where they set up two controversial signs in front of their table. One saying DEI should be illegal, and the other, deport all illegals now.
Get out of here. Didn't want to have a conversation. No conversation, ran them off campus. And it's a us versus them mentality. I told y'all earlier about Roland Martin and Jim Clyburn saying that MAGA wants Jim Crow back, and Roland Martin said that we got a target on that back, and the Republicans want to take us out, and they want to put us back on the plantation, and they want us to pick cotton again. All that kind of stupid stuff. Donald Trump's a racist. What did he do? What did he do that was racist? I don't know, but he still won. And they deal with these mind-altering practices. They twist reality to have you believe that they're after you. They want to hurt you. You're walking around people who don't mean you any harm, and you're afraid to death. It's your imagination. Microaggressions. You racist and you don't even know it. You looked at me wrong. I'm stinking and my head nappy and I dress messed up, but I didn't get the job because I was black. Job requires you to have a college degree. I don't have one. I applied for it. Well, you didn't get the job because you didn't have a college degree. No, I didn't get the job because I was black. Mind altering. The job requires that you have a high school diploma. Do you have one? I didn't have one, but I didn't get the job because I was black. Why? Because I didn't have a high school diploma because I was black. What? They're damn near giving the diplomas away now. And then you have a fear of learning. And they have this ability to punish you if you leave. If you try to learn anything outside of what the cult leader tells you, the people around you are going to find some way to put you down, to tell you shouldn't be listening to that, to tell you that, you don't want to be reading that. You don't want to be watching that on television. You don't want to broaden your horizons. Read this, read that. Don't watch Fox. Don't watch Newsmax. Don't watch anything but MSNBC and CNN. Don't listen to anybody but this. You're discouraged from learning anything outside of what the cult leader tells you to learn. And then they have the ability to punish and hurt you if you go. Coercion. If you leave, your mom and dad ain't going to talk to you no more. Your sisters and brothers are going to ostracize you. You might just lose your job. They use coercion to keep you in line. Baby, that is the Democratic Party. And there's this guy, and they did this recently to Nick Cannon. And this little girl by the name of Chili that used to sing for, she used to sing with Left Eye and all the rest of them, I think TLC, basically told Chili, who I guess she mistakenly or maybe not mistakenly gave money to some conservative causes. And they found out about it. They're trying to cancel her. Nick Cannon said some things favorable to Trump. They're trying to cancel him. Yeah, they have a way of punishing you if you get in line now. And that's why a lot of people are afraid to even try to get out of line. They will punish you. That's what cults do. I mean, they'll take your job. They'll kick you out your church. The people stop talking with you. If you're a black pastor, you can't get in it. You can't move up in the National Baptist Convention or in Kojic. Yeah, they'll find a way to punish you. Congregation will leave you. Hell, they ran up in that church up in Minneapolis, Don Lemon and his crew, and just stormed it. But they have an explanation for it. This guy by the name of Yuri Brezmenov. Last name is spelled Bezmenov. Yuri Bezmenov. Yuri was a Soviet journalist. He defected in 1970. And he started telling everybody about how the KGB worked. And he told them that the KGB is more about ideological subversion than active measures in psychological warfare. He said about 85% of their time is that. It ain't spying. It's basically getting into your head and making you hate your own country is what they do. And they've done it so well in the black community that if somebody decides on Christian principles, that I can no longer be part of the Democratic Party, the black community who is Christian don't care. Karen Whitsett from Detroit up in Michigan, she just said, I can't be part of the Democratic Party because I can't sign off on crazy. I can't sign off on LGBTQ. I can't sign off on late-term abortion. I believe in school choice. And she tried to get the Democratic Party to change its ways and go that way. And most of her district agrees with her. But because she's not running as a Democrat, Karen believes that she cannot win her own district anymore, even though her ideas hadn't changed. She's won 4 elections. But because she's going to put an R instead of a D in front of her name, she can't win.
I just sincerely kept asking, please do not back me into a corner. Please do not back me into the corner. I'm not a co-signer of crazy. You can do all of that and be all of that all you want. But when you try to force it on me and make it my reality, now we have a problem. I don't understand how Christian, Bible go together in Democratic Party.
You talking about mind control? Vote for the D. Vote for the D. Vote for the D. D good or bad. What do they stand for? Don't matter. D good or bad. Nancy Pelosi said that she has so much control over the black community. He said in these minority communities that they would vote for a glass of water if there was a D on it.
For a test. But those are districts that are solidly Democratic. This glass of water would win with a D next to its name in those districts. And not.
Joe Biden said if you don't vote for him, you ain't black.
It's a long way until November. We got more questions.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black. And you ain't black. And you ain't black. And you ain't black.
Your identity is tied up with the D. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. And you want to tell me this ain't a cult? I'll tell you right now that I don't care what your party is. I'd have voted for Karen Whitsett tomorrow if she was running. I'd vote for Bill Ross in Brownsville, my hometown. I know Bill well. I'd vote for Bill Ross tomorrow. He's a Democrat. Yeah. I don't care if you think somebody's going to tell me what to do. Republican, if you vote for a Democrat, I'm saying, hell, man, if he's more conservative than the daggone Republican is, of course I'm going to vote for him. I don't care if you like it or not. Get out of my face. Tell me what to do. But no, this is, and Yuri made some very interesting statements about how the KGB and the Soviet Union has controlled black people. You can hear it, you can see it here.
Where reality is right in front of you, and somehow everyone is acting like it's not, has become the new normal. And I want to talk about that with you. Like, what is that? Does the truth actually matter to us anymore? That question led me to deep dive into someone we've mentioned before on other episodes, Yuri Bezmenov. Now, I know that there's a lot of people watching who have already seen his interviews several times, but I want to take a minute to deep dive into his perspective because I think he brings a lot of insight into that question. So Yuri was a communist defector from Russia who gave lectures in the United States about something most people had never heard of at the time, something he called ideological subversion.
It's a slow process which we call either ideological subversion or active measures, активные мероприятия in the language of the KGB, or psychological warfare. What it basically means is to change the perception of reality of every American to such an extent that despite of the abundance of information, no one is able to come to sensible conclusions in the interests of defending themselves, their families, their community, and their country. It's a great brainwashing process which goes very slow, and it's divided in 4 basic stages.
These 4 stages include demoralization, the erosion of truth and meaning, destabilization, the fracturing of systems, crisis, the breaking point, and normalization, the acceptance of a new order.
The first one being demoralization. It takes from 15 to 20 years to demoralize a nation. Why that many years? Because this is the minimum number of years which requires to educate 1 generation of students in the country of your enemy, exposed to the ideology of the enemy. In other words, Marxism-Leninism ideology is being pumped into the soft heads of at least 3 generations of American students without being challenged or counterbalanced by the basic values of Americanism, American patriotism. The demoralization process in the United States is basically completed already for the last 25 years. Most of it is done by Americans to Americans, thanks to lack of moral standards. As I mentioned before, exposure to true information does not matter anymore. A person who was demoralized is unable to assess true information. The facts tell nothing to him. Even if I shower him with information, with authentic proof, with documents, with pictures, even if I take him by force to the Soviet Union and show him concentration camp, he will refuse to believe it until he is going to receive a kick in his fat bottom. When a military boot crashes his balls, then he will understand, but not.
And when you hear that, you have to go all the way back to Martin Luther King Jr., because it's what they did. The whole civil rights movement was a psyops. It wasn't hard to get black people back on the plantation. But, you know, like I said, Karen Winsett has paid the price for it. This lady down in Georgia, her name was Misha Maynor. She was a black Democrat, female, who could no longer support the Democratic Party because they were against school choice, school vouchers. She said, I'm leaving. She lost her seat. Vernon Jones, down in Georgia, same thing. Vernon said, can't sup with you no more. You guys have just left the reservation. Y'all crazy. Vernon lost his seat. They will punish you if you do not toe the line. That is a cult. When you no longer care what they stand for, when you no longer care what they do, when they have the ability to hurt you and cause you pain, when they isolate you, like they have black people in the ghettos and the schools and the HBCUs, like they did at Morehouse. At one time, the premier black male college in the nation, and now they are putting sodomites and gay men and gay preachers, putting portraits of them up in the chapel. You see what they're using the HBCUs for now, right? Yeah, you shouldn't send your child to an HBCU now because they are just pig pens for the Democratic Party, for these liberals, and for the LGBTQ. If you want grandchildren, you better not send your boy to one of these HBCUs. I'll tell you that, because when he comes home, he ain't gonna be looking at no girl. He's gonna look at another boy. That's a damn shame. So they're gonna indoctrinate your son. You know they're gonna indoctrinate your son to be an ankle grabber, and you're gonna send him anyway. If I had one, he wouldn't go. So the Democratic Party, let's put a barbed wire fence around the black community. They got you back on the plantation. And instead of picking cotton, now you're picking votes. And they told you better not leave and you better not say nothing. And it's a shame. I watch it all the time. I hear people walk up to me and tell me, you know what, I agree with everything you say, but I just can't say nothing about it. Because if I say something about it, I'll get in trouble at my job, so I got to be quiet. I said, man, you're a coward. I talked to them cats on Wall Street. I was up at the White House. They all got money. They walked up to me. Yeah, what you said about Martin Luther King Jr., it's all true, man. All that stuff true. I said, why don't y'all say something about it, man? Well, I said, you guys are capitalists, and y'all holding up a socialist and a Marxist as one of our standard bearers. And you're telling black people to listen to his message. And because they're listening to his message, they're staying in the ghettos, public schools, welfare, handouts, the crumb that fall from the white man's table. Not telling them to go out there, best service, best product, best price, always wins. It's time to jettison this stupidity and get out of this death cult. Hell, the black community is dying in real time. And while everybody else is jumping ship and getting away from these crazy jokers, the black caucuses and the iron triangle, most black preachers, most black politicians, most black civil rights workers are telling black people stay on it. One of the most amazing things I ever saw in my life. So I'm here doing this podcast because, again, I'm trying to help the ICE Democrats understand what's going on here. Who are the ICE Democrats? Not the good ICE who's locking up these illegals and kicking them out the country. It's the bad ICE. The ignorant and crazy and the evil. Like I said, 80% ignorant, 10% crazy, 10% evil. You can't have the evil ones. They're the ones that are running the show. They're the Chuck Schumers, the Nancy Pelosi's, the Jim Clybers of the world. The evil, not going to change, okay? The crazy ones can't help them either. All you need with the crazy joker, set him in the corner, give him something to eat, give him something to play with, hope he don't cause no trouble. Then you got the ignorant ones. They can be helped. That's about 80%. And the ignorant ones can listen, but a lot of the ignorant ones don't want to hear anything. They're suffering from cognitive dissonance. Anything that changes their mind causes them pain. They will resist it at all costs. They will attack you if you attempt to separate them from their oppressor. So you got to be careful with an ignorant sucker now. You walk up to him and tell him the truth, he might just jump on you. Like if a man beating the hell out of his wife and you come and start whipping him, she jump on you and beat you up, they both beat the hell out of you together. Yeah, that's them. That's most black Democrats. But there is a remnant. So the first pushback you see from them, just give you some coaching here. When you start talking to one, when you start seeing violent resistance, pull back. You might just get shot. Oh, hell, you ain't going to talk about him. That'd be like talking about Elijah Muhammad in the Nation of Islam. You get killed behind that. Leave that alone. I'll be doing this. You go talk about Barack Obama to the wrong black person, you better have a razor out. Ain't never met Obama. Obama wouldn't know him if you walked up to him and gave him $30. You don't talk about Obama. You don't talk about mine. Hey, man, chill out, bro. We just having a conversation. Hell no. That's the cult. But there is a remnant you can sit back and have a conversation with. And if they're willing to converse with them. But that's few and far between. Very few, very far between. About maybe 20% sliding scale from the population. They're the ones that will listen to my show and say, Mr. Ellison, thank you. I've learned something today. Thank you. You opened my eyes. Thank you. I was in darkness. Thank you. I've left the Democratic Party. Thank you. I didn't know. I get that every show in my comments. Y'all should read them. And that's why I do what I do. But you first have to come to a conclusion and understand this. The Democratic Party is a death cult. It is a cult. Plain and simple. It uses coercion. It uses information control. It has a charismatic, controlling leader. It has the ability to hurt you and will hurt you if you try to leave. And they lie. And the people at the top benefit. And the people at the bottom, they suffer. You are in a cult that is worse than any cult in the history of the world. And the Democratic Party is it. The evilest institution in the history of the world. A party of perverts, liars, psychopaths, anti-Christian bigots. Party of slavery from 1800 to 1860. The party of the Confederacy from 1860 to 1865. The party of Jim Crow from 1865 to 1965. And now the party of transgenderism, non-birth abortion, taking your guns away, putting demented men in the bathroom with little girls, your wives and your grandmothers, having them in locker rooms with your daughters, playing sports with your daughters, castrating little boys and calling them little girls, taking God out of the library, putting porn in, taking God out the classroom, putting drag queens in. If Jesus came back, tried to walk into the public schools, they tell him, you're not welcomed here. He said, but I'm Jesus. We don't care. Look at the holes in my hands and my feet and the spear in my side. Man, I died for you. You don't get out of here, you're going to die again. That's what they're telling. And when he says, I refuse to go because I'm going to talk to my children, they're going to call the SWAT team on him. Yeah, that's your Democrat Party. You're not welcome here, Jesus Christ. And yet you vote for them because you're in a cult. And I know if you're going to say, Vince Ellison, you're in a cult with the Republican. I'm not a Republican. See how easy that is? You're going to get in a cult. You're in MAGA. I'm not MAGA. See how that is? I'm a Christian first, conservative second, an American third. That's me. Don't try to project your insanity on me. I vote blue, no matter who. I vote for the D. Look at me. So I'm trying to help the ones that want to be helped. If you don't want to be helped, as Jesus Christ say, shake the dust off your feet. I don't have to spend any more time with you. I'm here to help you. I'm here to give you information. I'm here to have you look in the mirror. I'm here to shake you. But more than anything, I'm here to wake you up. I hope I did you some good today. So leave the death cult and join me again for another edition of the Vince Everett Ellison Show.
Every single one of you is a revolutionary.
Certain things are defined as black. Whoever has made those definitions can then take them away and determine you're black or not.
The white man ain't gonna love you, he ain't gonna love your religion, he gonna lie, he gonna kill, he gonna steal.
Folks are willing to fight for black liberation by any means necessary.
All history matters to you except black history and systemic racism.
Your mind is caked, brother. You only look at things through the lens of race.
One of the first things they did was remove the father from the household. Went from being raised by their dads to being raised by the fathers of hip-hop.
They wanted to destroy the nuclear family because they are trying to remove and rid society of Christ.
These politicians now celebrate his culture, and they wonder why the black community is dying.
Well, he said he believed in a colorblind society. People are evaluated based on content of character, not color of skin. That's completely rejected by the whole DEI movement.
So when people are prejudiced, it's because they're ignorant.
Within black culture, we've been lied to.
Conflict gets us nowhere.
People are waking up.
All right, friends, Vince Everett Ellison is here. I want you to go to my website. And on my website, you're going to see a lot of great stuff, man. You're going to see that we got t-shirts, we got caps, you got my books, my documentaries, you got all kinds of stuff on VinceSpeaksTruth.com. Go there. We're dropping new t-shirts. We're dropping new merchandise. My new book, The End of Tolerance, is there. The End of Tolerance. Make sure you get it. Make it #1. If you got my first 3, get The End of Tolerance. It's just as good. And it's telling us we have to end our tolerance with these leftists, these Democrats. We can no longer allow them to sexually groom our children. We can no longer allow them to castrate little boys and call them little girls, run God out of the public square, take away our guns, take away our sovereignty. No longer allow it. So go on VinceSpeaksTruth.com. That is VinceSpeaksTruth.com. Hit merchandise. You'll see the t-shirts. You'll see the caps. You'll see the books. You'll see the documentaries. You'll see it all. And let's keep this ball rolling. God bless you.